Okay, my beautiful friends, it is me and you, and it's just lovely. I mean it. I love being here with you, especially when you and I see things happen, well, that we knew were going to happen. I just love it. Anyway, so yes, this is my post-market wrap-up on this Monday, December 6th, 2021. People, did you see the market today? Did you see crude oil today? The yield curve, the dollar, all the stuff that I tell you to watch, the MMRI. Well, let's talk about this. So we had a very nice rally across the board. As a matter of fact, every single S&P 500 sector, every one today finished in the green. Beautiful. I've been telling all of you, buy these freaking dips, and we're going to keep on doing that. The game remains risk on. Okay, we have a lot to talk about. Again, with the Fed coming up soon and more talk of tapers and all this nonsense crap, ignore it all. Because I'm going to tell you right here what to do before, well, they let us all know what's going on here. Because there are a few of us, and you're probably one of them too, who is smart enough to just do a little math here and figure out what's going on. This is how we can tell what they're going to do before they do it. It's really the truth. It's too easy. It's too easy. There's almost no guesswork here. Anyway, so on the back of the stock market, putting on nice gains today, all S&P sectors in the green. Crude oil. Let's talk about crude oil, people. We're like at $70 a barrel right now. An over 5% gain today. Okay, you knew this was going to happen. I told you they will not allow crude to stay low. They will create reasons to make sure it gets propped up no matter what it is. Now, I want to say this real quick. This can change, but I spent a lot of time today looking at crude oil, taking in global events, and it looks to me that if things stay the way they are, and I can't imagine they're going to change that much, we're going to see crude make a pretty significant move higher relatively soon. Whether it's a geopolitical event or some other kind of engineered thing, crude will be propped up. And on the back of that, again, look at the market. I tell you all the time, a 5%, over 5% gain in crude oil, stocks take off, all S&P sectors higher. You think this is by accident? No. Crude oil is the lifeblood of the market. Crude oil is the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex. So I know you're as one of my lions or one of my friends out here, you're watching this stuff and you're laughing. You're laughing because I told you how it's going to play out. And you knew it before that anyway. That's what I love about this, and that's what I love about you. All right, let us move forward here. People, this yield curve, which has been dropping precipitously lately, well, we saw a turnaround today, and the yield curve came up a little bit. That's a sign that there's a little relief here in the market, and you can see how it played out. Stocks higher across the board. It's just the way it works here. The dollar today, relative strength slightly higher. The MMRI, which is the Mannarino Market Risk Indicator. People, look at this thing. The MMRI has been dead on. Spot on perfect. It's been saying, buy the dips, buy the dips, buy the dips. Bam! Look at the market. Look. Yes, this is my little baby, my creation, the MMRI. But I think it's the best indicator out here to gauge market risk because it looks at the debt market as a whole, which includes the dollar, to gauge where the stock market is going to go based on what's happening in the debt market. Duh. I mean, that's what's driving the entire stock market. There's nothing else here. Like I always tell you, it's not PE ratios, forward guidance, blah, blah, blah. None of it matters at all. It's all about the debt market and easy money, which is not going to stop, despite the fact of what we heard today, which we'll cover in just a little bit here. So keep your eyeballs like this, focused on the MMRI, okay? It's free for you. Link in the description of this lovely video, people. Gold and silver today did fall under a little pressure, nothing major. Cryptocurrencies, after the volatility of this weekend, okay, Bitcoin's around 49,000. We got a warning today from Morgan Stanley. Oh, Bitcoin's a bad thing. It's very, very, very bad. You should get rid of yours. Yeah, why? Well, could you imagine a major bank that would like you to be in anything other than a dollar? They want to loan you all the dollars that you want to borrow, but they don't want you in that cryptocurrency. No, no, no. Bad, 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 bad. What does that tell me? When I hear a major bank tell me not to do something, well, I just spray my shorts. I know that's what I should be doing. Okay, duh. You understand? Duh. How many more duh do you need? I don't think you need much more. Anyway, you know what? I want to touch on this real quick. Let me calm down a minute. Taper. Let's talk about the Fed taper because it's getting so much attention. Oh, yeah. The Federal Reserve tapered. Oh, that's exactly what they did. No, they didn't. All the Fed did was lower their minimum asset purchases per month with no top. Now, there's all this talk. Oh, yeah, we're going to hear from the Fed. I believe it's next week. And there's all this talk. Oh, yes, indeed. The Fed's going to taper again, and they're determined to stop buying assets. It is the biggest load of dog shit wrapped in cat shit, sprinkled with bird shit on the face of the earth. Okay, it's all a lie. It's a distraction. There's no taper whatsoever. There will not be a taper. And we can see the action by looking at the Federal Reserve's balance sheet. You know what I did, right? I put a link to the Federal Reserve's freak show balance sheet in the description of the video that I did yesterday. Markets look ahead. So check that out and get that link and look at it and focus on it and laugh at it. Okay, so it's going higher, it's parabolic, and we can watch the action in the debt market to see what the Fed's doing. You see, they think you're stupid. They think that you are a moron. You are not a moron because you watch this blog, and I'm telling you what to focus on here. Watch the action in the debt market. Watch that 10-year yield, the yield curve. Watch the Fed's balance sheet, and you can laugh because the Fed is going to do nothing, and the market knows that. Henceforth, why we had these gains today, and it looks to me like more gains are coming. Now, I am not saying that there's not going to be any volatility in this market. There always is. But it looks to me, if they prop up crude oil, which it looks like they're going to do, stocks are going higher. We could actually see, believe it or not, new record highs coming for this market by the end of this month. I do fully expect we're going to see a Santa Claus rally. Do you know why? Why do we see a Santa Claus rally every year? Because, in case you don't know, all the big shots at these corporations here, they get their bonuses based on stock share price at the end of the year. So if they just manage to prop up the stock share price, they get a bigger bonus. Did you know that? Well, I'm sure some of you do, but that's the big secret of letting out of the bag today. Henceforth, why we generally see these Santa Claus rallies. All right. With regard to next month, we'll talk about it. Let us move forward here, people. Oh, for those of you, my lovely friends, who subscribe to my free newsletter. Yeah, it's really free. There's a link in the description of this video. You got your stock picks today. Last week, you got, I told you to buy XLF. Are you watching the financial sector? Looks pretty damn good, doesn't it? You know, XLF, the financial sector, ETF. Yeah. Well, if you got in on that, congratulations to you. Every Monday, starting today, I'm going to send out 2 or 3 stocks that I believe are well positioned moving forward. Okay, you can capitalize on these in several ways. Buy and hold, setting up credit spreads, selling puts. Lovely. Okay, I do not recommend buying calls. Okay, forget about that. It's a tough game to play. A lot of people can play it. I played it for many, many years. It's a tough game. Let us move forward here. So if you have not subscribed to my newsletter, what am I telling you? Subscribe to my newsletter. If you're a trader, if you're a lion, look down here in the description of this video. Now, I covered the Fed about their taper. Laugh about it. Okay, understand that when you hear this kind of stuff on the mainstream, they're reading a teleprompter. Make sure you say these things, and then make sure you say these things, you idiot imbecile, because you can't think for yourself. No, that's what they're doing. They're reading a teleprompter. Imagine being paid to read a teleprompter. Imagine going through college and, maybe graduate school and everything, and then you get a job where you're sitting there in front of a microphone and a camera in your face, and right underneath that camera is the teleprompter, and you got to read it. It's for the brain dead, okay? You'll never see me there. Oh, no, they don't want a guy like me. Of course not. See, because I would never read a teleprompter. It's all dog shit. You know that. Anyway, people, let's talk about this. Actually, we will touch on next year a little bit with regard to the market, because we got a warning today. Another warning, people, from Bank of America. Let me explain to you something about these Wall Street banks in case you haven't noticed. Over the past maybe 6 or 8 months, we have had warning after warning after warning and more warnings. Oh, yeah, this market, it's going down. It's over. I'm, run for the freaking hills here. And I've been telling you, ignore it, ignore it, ignore it. And who has come out on top? How about me? And you, by following this blog. I told you to ignore it. So here's a warning that we got here from Bank of America. Bank of America is, again, getting somewhat bearish on the market moving into next year. Okay. What I'm going to suggest to you is call Bank of America and laugh on the phone. So you see, I don't listen to a major Wall Street bank. I listen to Greg Mannarino, because Greg Mannarino has been right and you idiot imbeciles have been wrong. So do me a favor. You have a phone? Look it up. Hey Siri, call Bank of America. Something along those lines. And call Bank of America and just laugh and just say, you guys are all idiots, because they all are. And they have another agenda going on. I think we all know that. Let us now move forward here. I told you that I believe that we're going to get a Santa Claus rally this year. This is stuff I was just writing down today. I want to touch on something here, people. I'm getting a lot of emails of, it seems, people that are afraid. And I want to help you out. Okay. What's the fear? I touched on this last week or the week before, I'm not sure. There's all this talk on, let's say, Market Watch and CNBC and Reuters. Oh, yeah, people. Guess what's going on here? Insiders are selling their stocks. Oh, this is something that we really need to worry about, because if the insiders are selling their stocks, that means that the market's going to drop. How about it does not mean that? And how about if you believe it means that you're being lied to? So just forget about it. It's just, it's too much. No, ignore these things. All right. If you understand what's going on, you know where to look. Greg Mannarino tells you where to look every day. Okay. Number one, if you want to know where risk is in this market, what are you going to do? You're going to look at the MMRI, link in the description of this video, right to my lovely Freak Show website. Okay. You want to know where the market's going to go? What's the Fed doing? They're buying assets like there's no tomorrow. Look at their balance sheet. Okay, like I said, I put a link in the description of my Markets and Look Ahead video that I did yesterday. Okay, go check that out. Watch the relative dollar strength. Watch the yield curve. Listen to Greg Mannarino. And I'm going to keep you on the right side of this market like I have done for a very long time. So ignore the bank warnings. Ignore the corporate insiders selling their stocks, and that means you should too. No, it does not mean that, people. Anyway, what else did I want to talk about, people? Let me put a perspective on what we're seeing. If you understand my work, if you've been with me for any length of time, you know for a fact that I do not like the Federal Reserve. I sincerely believe that the Federal Reserve is public enemy number one. If they're public enemy number one, they do not have your interest or mine at all. Okay, they have an agenda, and they're going to fulfill that agenda. If that means they're going to inflate like they've been doing for years, I told you they're going to inflate, and inflate some more. They're going to keep on doing that, because what they're doing, what the Federal Reserve is actually doing, in case you don't know, is they're trying to destroy the economy. They want to break the economy, okay? Why does the Federal Reserve want to break the economy? Because they want to be the lender and buyer of last resort. They want to be the go-to people, the ruler of the freaking world. They already run the entire financial system, the Federal Reserve. Why? Because the U.S. dollar is the world reserve currency. Okay, they want to break not just the economy of the United States. They want to break the global economy. Central banks around the world are on a mission to break the global economies of the world so they can finish their endgame, to own it all, to buy it all, to be the ruling body of the world, to be the actual government of the world, for which they are right now. We have no representation, and you know that. Anyway, people, nothing that you are seeing is by accident. The surging inflation, the crushing of the middle class, people burying themselves in debt beyond their eyeballs, margin debt in the stock market, the driving of crude oil. All of this is a game. It's literally a game that is being played on the world, leading the world down a pathway of absolute destruction. Okay, the entire wipeout of the middle class on a global scale. That's all this is. It's a game, and that is their driver. The Fed wants to collapse or destroy or break the economies of the world, along with other central banks working in concert, so they can finish what they started over a century ago. People, don't believe Greg Mannarino. I'm going to tell you, don't believe me. You think that central banks are your friend? Do you really think central banks have your best interest in mind? Just look it up. Why were central banks actually created? Not what the dog shit papers are going to tell you, but look a little deeper. Why would an independent private group of men want to start up an institution and control the financial system? Why would this happen? Because they had your best interest in mind, or did they have theirs? Now we are seeing the effects of this on a global scale a century later. So in my view, and I'm sure you would agree, central banks are deliberately trying to, very successfully, break the global economy so they can have full control. Does that word sound familiar to you? Control, 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 fear, control. That's all they want. Control. Control is power. And they want all of it. All the power they can get. It doesn't matter who they have to kill. It doesn't matter what they have to do. They're going to do it to achieve their end game. Their final solution. Does that sound familiar? Well, that's exactly where we are, people, and I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, look, I have some other stuff here that I wanted to cover, but you know what? I'm running out of time, and I don't want this video to run too long. People, as always, I want you to ponder the things that I talk about. I want you to think about them. I want you to make up your own mind. And I want you to tell me if you think I'm off base. Have I said something in this video that doesn't make sense to you? I always tell you that people are not that stupid. People know the truth when they hear it. So if I told you anything here that doesn't sound real, and if you can say, hey, you know what? Greg is saying stuff that sounds pretty good to me. You're going to do your own research, and then you're going to share this video. You want people to hear this stuff because I can promise you they're not going to hear it anyplace else. Anyway, with that said, I love all of you. I mean that. I will see you in the morning, and I am out of here.